Residents of Parksville head to the polls October 22nd in a by-election to select a new councilor. The election became necessary when Al Greir resigned from council this past July, citing health concerns. 5 candidates will be on the ballot: Kim Burden, Doug O'Brien, Carrie Powell-Davidson, Paul Reitsma, and Rick Honaizer, who was working out of province and unable to be a part of this story. The need to borrow $6 million for a new water treatment facility was a big issue during the 2014 civic election. We asked the candidates what they thought was the most important issue facing Parksville today.
Well, we have a proposed tax increase of 4% for a consecutive 4 years. And so that's going to be a real hardship for a lot of the people in Parksville. A lot of people that are also renting in apartments type of thing, that tax increase is going to be passed on to them. And a lot of them are living paycheck to paycheck. And the thing is that's going to be a real burden on them. 4% is just unacceptable because in today's economic climate that we have, many people aren't getting 4% increases. They're not getting 4% returns on their pensions, and they're not even getting 4% increases in anything.
There are about 3 or 4 issues. Certainly, we have to go back to basics. Taxation policies, what we need, not what we want. Slow growth. And above all, the inclusion of the residents and citizens in long-term decision-making.
Affordable housing, or the lack thereof, has been an issue for years in the Oceanside area. Just this past year, the city of Parksville had to revise its bylaw regarding people camping in its municipal parks.
Parksville's a good city, and in order to be a great city, we need to improve our demonstration of leadership. We need to deal with some of the immediate issues that face us with homelessness, with transportation issues, particularly the walkability of our community. And we've got a doctor shortage, which is of particular significance to people who are in the senior population and young families. And it's those folks, young families, that we want to attract through the creation of jobs. And in order to do that, we need to deal with these other issues.
I don't think that there is any number one issue. Basically, whatever is important to the people of Parksville is an important issue. So for example, I'm very passionate about addressing the severe housing shortage in Parksville so that people, students, young people, people on fixed incomes, the working poor, need to have a home that they can afford. On the other hand, someone who's living next door to an unsightly property or is trying to get a permit to do an addition on their house, for them, those are the number one issues.
The results of a 2011 ISPOS Read Residents Telephone Survey on the official community plan indicated that economic development and environmental concerns are the 2 top leading land use issues for people who live here. The city is currently experiencing growth. The latest statistics show the population has risen to over 12,000 residents. With only 2 years left in the term, we asked those seeking the position on council what their first priority will be.
Certainly, it is back to basics. The growth, I don't want us to grow rapidly because of the costs involved once we're over 15,000, and very much the inclusion of the residents and the taxpayers when making long-term decisions. And they have been excluded, unfortunately. Don't rubber stamp reports, but just have vigorous debate and challenge.
I'm coming into a group that are already formed, so my number one priority would be becoming part of the team. Council's a team with many different perspectives, and I believe that I'm the missing piece. So I need to be able to share my perspectives with the existing team and learn how I'm going to work with them to move the city forward.
The citizens of Parksville need to have a representative that actually represents their views on council. They have a lot of concerns over safety and pedestrianization and the downtown core and that type of thing. I want to present that to council. I want to represent them. When they have concerns, I want to let them know that they have someone that they can talk to that will respond back to them and put their views before council.
My number one priority would be to get caught up to speed on the items that have been discussed in camera. As people are probably aware, local government is mandated by the laws that govern them to only go in camera on issues pertaining to labor, land, and legal issues. So there seems to have been a fair amount of in-camera meetings lately. So my first priority will be to meet with staff and members of council to get caught up to speed on those items. I'm not privy to that information until I'm on council. And then I'll be in a good position to do my own research and make intelligent decisions when the time comes.
The Parksville by-election is set for Saturday, October 22nd. Voting that day will be from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. at the Parksville Fellowship Baptist Church on Pym Street. For Go on Shaw TV, I'm Annette Lucas.